Hi everyone. So in today's video, I want to speak a little bit more candidly than I have in the past few videos. So, and the topic that I want to talk about today is taking risks, right? So how it's important to take more risks, to take intelligent risks, and also to manage your fear and learn to let go. So this is something that I've been thinking about over the last couple of years, and hopefully there's something that you can gain from this as well. So when I contemplated taking up jiu-jitsu, one of the things that concerned me initially was injury, right? So I would say I'm a fairly risk-averse person. So I was thinking to myself, I don't want to get my shoulder dislocated, don't want my knee to pop out, don't want to get choked for too long accidentally. But at the same time, I realized that there were so many benefits, right? Or potential benefits. So it could help me lose weight. It could help me learn to fight. Not that I necessarily want to get into street fights. Basically, that's just something I felt I needed to do. So I've been doing it for about a year, and I've lost about 20 kilos. I've also found that I haven't had any major injuries so far. So maybe a hyperextended toe. I've been choked and it felt like my windpipe was getting crushed. Things like that, yes, but nothing super bad, I would say. Never say never, but I try to be cautious still. So another risk I think that's paid off lately has been the reselling business. It's funny how it started because I didn't intend to start a reselling business. It just kind of happened. I had a PlayStation 4 VR kit that I'd bought and I tried it and I got a bit tired of it, so I decided to sell it. For some reason I decided that I should put it on eBay, and then I found that very quickly it sold. It was, I don't remember exactly how early, but it sold really quick. I thought, wow, if I could sell this on the internet, surely I could sell other things, right? And then from there, I basically just started buying and selling stuff and learning to do that, right? And yes, I was a bit concerned about spending money, and I made a lot of trades that weren't logical at the time. Like I'd drive an hour to the Gold Coast to pick up some cameras and then lost $20 on them. So just things like that where I thought didn't really make sense, but I was just trying to learn how it worked. And from there, it's been 9 months and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. I guess what I'm trying to tie back to is that the risk that I was taking is because I was just getting the feeling that things can't keep going the way they are. I'd been in the corporate world for about 6 years at the time, on and off. And I was just like, something's got to happen. Something has to work out here, basically. The final point I wanted to make was about managing fear and learning to let go. And I think this is something that has been particularly relevant with the reselling business, right? So one of my key fears was, what if I don't get the money back on this? Or what if it doesn't make as much money as I think it should? But over time, I just kind of learned that as long as I do the research and I buy with a fair margin, then I could still break even if I needed to, right? That's not ideal, but I could still do that. I could still get my money back. And I guess you just get to a point where you trust yourself enough to do things. But I would just say managing fear comes with developing confidence of your own abilities. In the context of letting go, I like to think about this in terms of business constraints, right? So, look, there are some natural constraints that exist in my business. So, for example, it's hard to source stuff at the right prices. But I'd say so far, the biggest constraint has been me and my ability to let go of preconceived notions or rigid beliefs that I have, right? So an example might be that I'm working on eBay and they offer promoted listings, right? And I think, man, I'm paying eBay a lot of money already. Why would I promote my listings? But then I watched a video from a guy called Aussie Flipper, that's his stage name, and he said, you know what, I do eBay promoted listings. Even just as little as 3% of the sale price can really help it sell quicker. And I tried it and I realized that all my sales were picking up because they'd been slowing down a little bit. So it kind of occurred to me that actually I had to let go of that belief, right? Yes, I wasn't happy about paying an extra 3% of the sale price, but at the same time, I'm getting my money back quicker, which means I can go find more stuff quicker and then sell it quicker and then get that multiplier effect going. So that's one example, I would say. Another one is discount packaging, right? So, or more broadly, I would always feel like my business was smaller than it actually was. So the guy at Australia Post would say to me, why don't you go get discount packaging, right? Because you're doing quite a lot of sales. And I would say, my business isn't really that big. And then I'd sit back and think about how much the business had grown. Maybe I'd had 50 sales when I had this conversation with him. And then I thought to myself, no, I probably should do the bulk packaging, which would provide a discount. That's actually kind of, that would be helpful to my business. That would help me save money. So I went back in and then bought it, right? And now I pretty much only do bulk packaging because my business is that big. So these are just some things I've been thinking about anyway of late, particularly around risk and fear and letting go. So I think I'll leave the video here, but thanks so much for watching, and I hope you got some valuable insights on what I had to say today, even if it is a bit of a rant.